For my CIW report, I decided to interview Sarah Carver, who is a senior tax associate at a company called Thomas Judy and Tucker, which is based out of Raleigh. Thomas Judy and Tucker is a public accounting firm with about 100 employees and has an office. Its main office is in Raleigh, but also has an office in Durham. Since it's regional, it does a lot of work through North Carolina, a little South Carolina, a little Georgia, and a little like Pennsylvania. But it's not nationwide, so it's not as big as EY or Deloitte or those big companies. But its name still has a very big reputation in the Triangle area. Sarah is an alumni of NC State, and she has her CPA, so she's very certified to do her work. She's also very young, so I thought she would be the best candidate for this project and to give me some information about communication in terms of my age instead of someone who is older and maybe cannot relate as much to the changing world to communicate or technology that we have. Sarah said that about 40% of her job includes writing, about 35% includes reading, and about 25% is spent communicating with others, which is, as I've worked there, those numbers seem very relatable. Writing is a big part of accounting. Everything has to be written. The final product is a big report. So that's the main bulk of the work, while the rest is reading papers, understanding what they say, and communicating with the client or other people to try and prepare that return. She said that oral communication is a little less important than written communication in the workplace, but they're both equally important. So written communication is more efficient in the workplace because that's how you write emails to communicate to the client, to peers, to other people, instead of orally, because it's faster and you can get information to and from them in a faster manner, be prepared more efficiently and faster, which is honestly one of the biggest factors in tax preparation. She said the documents that she writes are notes, memos, and emails. Emails, of course, for communication with the client, get some paperwork to prepare the tax return and just communicate their findings with them. Also to communicate with peers about, legislation or some rules that go along with tax preparation that one person might not know, but the next one will. And then notes are in terms of for future reference. When someone else is preparing the return in the future year, writing little notes that correlate to where numbers may go or where it was stemmed from will really help speed up the process in the future. As far as memos go, sometimes some conclusions have to be made on returns because a financial number may not be connected. You may not know where it came from, and you have to just kind of conclude where it came from and make it understanding, kind of like telling a story. And so that must be done in order to do that, and you must write a report to explain that number so the people that are reading it after you can also understand where that number came from. She said that the biggest inefficiency or consequence of ineffective writing is bad preparation can affect the client in a larger way. So in the terms of what she said was the most important is that it'll give a bad reputation to the company you work for as well as her. So if you don't communicate well, you don't tell the client what to do, the return won't be filed correctly, it'll be explained incorrectly, which will bring forth bad name for your company and also the preparer, because her name is ultimately the one that signed off on the preparation, and she is the one in charge of communicating all these findings with the client. So that is maybe one of the biggest parts. Also for a company and stuff, bad preparation can lead to an audit. An audit costs a lot of money. If the auditor finds something fraudulent in the return, it'll cause huge controversy in the whole company, which in all will directly stem to the preparer. So that's one of the biggest downfalls. Another thing is, she said that her technology has not changed much in the previous or in the last couple of years because she's fairly new and she's very young. So she's obviously been exposed to computers and communication with that. Everything is done through computer. Communication is done through IM or emails. And so not much has changed in terms of technology. But she does foresee in the future that technology will affect the accounting workplace in a way that we're seeing it now. All the returns are filed electronically directly to the IRS and to the government. So if the client chooses to let the company, TJT, file the return instead of themselves, and they can just send it directly electronically without having to print a single document. And then she says that going forward, she can see more face-to-face stuff through electronic, such as FaceTime, in a way to communicate more efficiently. She said that cultures are a big part of the accounting firm. So especially at Thomas Judy and Tucker, we have a lot of international clients, maybe from India, China, a lot of Middle Eastern countries and Asian countries. And in order to communicate with them, we have to, it's a little different than if you were communicating to a typical American. And so in order to communicate with them, we have to have good communication skills, a lot of patience, and really that's due to the fact that their communications, their cultures are different, and we have to learn that. So that's very important in the workplace. I think she said that in order to be successful, you have to have all types of communication. So interpersonal is a big part of accounting because you have to kind of build a relationship with your client. You have to build a relationship with the person you're working for. You have to put a face to the name on the paper. If you don't do that, you're going to be so not successful in the industry because you're doing work and you really don't have a connection. You don't understand where people are coming from or anything. She said that communications and paperwork is assessed more through peers. So peers review your work, and then a person who is a partner at the firm finalizes, puts the final touches on it, and then says the return is done. And that's the main way of communicating through writing and assessment of writing. So those are my findings, and thank you for watching.